11. I thought of that on the fly as well, because I was just saying to James how scared I am of trying to do an intro because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm thinking as I'm saying things, and I'm saying as I'm thinking things. So this is a recipe for disaster. James, take over. I'm struggling.
I know. I was just thinking, I'm saying things as I'm thinking them, and I'm thinking them as I'm saying them. That's just called talking.
You could be right, but I don't have the mental capacity to think that through enough to confirm or deny. So instead of confusing me anymore, why don't you just drop me some knowledge, sir? How about that?
All right. So we're jumping straight into this. Like there is no need to waffle on.
No waffle?
No waffle. Now,
yeah,
Josh.
That's me.
Overseas, Australians are seen as the larrikins, as the funny guys, as the Sheilas and the Blueies and they weirdly play a sport that they invented that doesn't wear any padding. Like people don't understand this.
Not even I understand. I do understand it. I like the sports.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what people don't realize is Australians are actually pretty smart and pretty on point with inventions.
Yeah, no, you're right, James. I am pretty smart. I lied at the start of, I think I've said how not smart I am at the start of most podcasts. That's just a defense mechanism to make sure people assume the worst. But then when I succumb that and, take the higher ground, people are shocked and admire me for my resilience and ability to push through the negative.
I mean, the fact that you're sitting, at a table with a computer screen, listening to me waffle on about stuff that I know.
I mean, to be fair, I did send you the Zoom link, so I asked for this.
You did. It's self-inflicted. Okay, brilliant. Awesome.
Yeah. So what did we invent, James? What did we invent down under?
Well, going to start with something that I think most people know this one, and I think it's one that kind of is so worldly and so highly used. It's one that should start any podcast, and that's the black box flight recorder.
Yes, I have actually heard this before. I guess we may have needed to invent it because we're so far away and isolated from the rest of the world that we're like, look, geez, we got to fly a long time, and between that distance, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. It's sketchy, so we better invent something to record what we say.
Yeah, exactly right. The fact that we have to fly 25 plus hours just to get to England, and England, and
it just rains when you get there.
It just rains as soon as you get there, so it's like Melbourne. But they have to drive 45 minutes, and they get to like 19 different countries. So
that's true.
This is why it was invented, but no. So the flight recorder, or the black box, as it is known, it was actually invented by a fella named David Warren, and he was from
Davo. I think we just called him
Davo. Yeah, Davo. Yeah, that's true. Actually, would have called him or Wazza. Going as his last name.
Absolutely, Advanced Australia fair.
Absolutely. So, so he back in the mid 50s was actually working as an accidents investigator. So, an aeroplane crashes, he would then go out with the investigation crew, and they would basically piece it together and figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
Now, he also was a research scientist at the Aeronautical Research Laboratory, or the AL, and that is in Melbourne.
Melbourne?
In Melbourne.
Oh, sorry. As our Canadian friends say, Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne.
They're wrong.
They are very wrong.
But in the mid 50s, like I said, he had obviously gone to a few of these wrecks and crashes and accidents, that he figured that there would be a really good way of kind of collating all the data and all the information to help with these investigations. And one of those things was a recording device that he actually, weirdly enough, saw at a technological fair that he went to, and then went, we could use that. We could use
one of those in one of them planes.
Yeah, we could use that recording device in an aeroplane. So what they eventually did was they made up a little, what's the word I'm calling, concept,
Yep.
which was incredibly strong, and as we know, it is nigh on impossible to destroy.
True.
And indestructible, I believe, is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Pretty common
he
word.
actually,
That's fine.
yeah, it is. But he actually went and spoke to a fella named Sir Robert Hardingham, who was a former British air officer
Does sound
and
very
marshal,
British.
and basically told him about the black box. Basically, this is the unofficial project. What do you think? Straight away, Sir Robert turned around and went, off you go to England, show him what you got. I think it's really
I
great.
do say, good sir, this idea is absolutely spiffing.
And that was in 1958. And they did talk like that, let's be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
David, that is a phenomenal piece of
Oh,
machinery.
Wazza, you're a crack up, sir. No, if you ask me, James, about this sounds like the ultimate Australian dream, because what Wazza's done here, what Wazza's done is he's invented a way to make his job a heap easier, which means more time for Smoko. All right. How is he going to get down to 7-Eleven? All right. Get a big M and a sausage roll.
Yep.
And sit outside chuffing a whole pack of darts outside the server.
And
can't do that if you're trying to look through files and plane wreckage. Chuck the box in there. She'll be right, mate.
Absolutely.
Get on the darts. Let's go get a big M. All right. Let's see what's on Triple M. Thunderstruck. Sweet. Let's listen.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. But like, you're not wrong, because as we're going to go along with these particular little inventions that Australians have come up with, that's going to make more and more sense to you. Australians have come up with things that are going to make not only our lives easier for the better, but also so we have more time at the pub or on the smokes.
Absolutely.
Like that's basically what we get at. But anyway, I digress. Basically, real quickly, 1960. So a couple of years after he went to England, next thing you know, the invention of the black box flight recorder has become worldwide, and is now essential and must be in every single airplane from then on.
Give the man a Nobel Prize.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Now another one is spray on skin.
Oh, yuck.
I know it sounds a bit much.
What are you talking about? It grows back, James. It grows. You don't need to spray on fake skin. It grows.
Unfortunately, for those that have got severe burns or skin damage victims, it is nigh impossible to actually do that.
Or just use Glad wrap. Why do you have to spray it on?
The idea is not to have to go to Bunnings and pick up like a can of Dulux cream.
Undercoat, you reckon undercoat, mate? You can put it on.
A bit of undercoat, and and basically what it does, it was invented by Professor Fiona Wood in 1990. The concept was actually put together in 1993, and by 2002, so funnily enough, after the Bali bombings in 2002. By that time they had successfully put together quite a amazing product, where people that had suffered quite severe burns or skin damage, they would actually take a culture of the patient's skin, mix it into an aerosol effectively, and then spray it onto the wound. So they
I don't know how I feel about that, James. Look, a brilliant invention. Like, I'm not discrediting the science at all. Just saying it's a bit gross. It doesn't make me
it is
feel great. It makes me squirm.
What I want to know is, I know that we can take other people's, our skin and recreate it. But what if we could basically make superheroes with this stuff? Like, what if you took because we're all made of atoms, right? We're all made of the same sort of 5 atoms.
What if we vibrations, James?
Feel the vibrations. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I'd put it as the outro song, but that's copyright, so I don't think we can do that.
No, unfortunately. But basically, what I'm getting at is, what if we could spray like metal back onto our skin and become like, a hard metal substance? What if we could
cyborg
spray on? What if we could spray on chameleon skin and make ourselves like, be able
blend
to
in
camouflage and blend in? Where does it end? Where does it end?
Well, look, Australia hasn't been up to much in the last couple of years with this whole COVID business.
Guys, I'm giving you an idea.
Yeah,
science,
maybe.
Call me.
Yeah. Surely that it's been in the works. What else are they going to do? Locked up at home.
Dear science.
Dear science.
My name is Jack. Great song, by the way.
Okay.
Anyway, Seth Century talks about wanting his.
I don't know. Oh, great.
I'm telling you.
Okay, well, I don't know, James. You're telling me, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. This conversation's going nowhere. Go to the next fact. No, stop. Go to the next fact. I'm upset.
Half the point of the podcast is to teach you stuff.
No, anyway, the whole point of the podcast.
Anyway, well, okay, I'm going to make you a bit happier now. I'm going to make you happy.
Okay, thank you.
This one was thought up by.
Please go on.
A Tasmanian.
Oh, the Apple Isle.
In the Apple Isle in
Van Diemen's
1983.
Land.
That's exactly right. In 1983,
probably know
it was actually put together. It's actually the wave-piercing catamaran. Okay. Now, these are these massive, like half the size of the.
They're the ones with the net in the middle. Right, and people just sit on the net in the middle.
No. This is one of those really hyper fast.
Oh, actually, I think I know I know the ones you mean.
So think like actual ship, not just a.
It's those ones that are like a yacht, but it's got like a catamaran body underneath, so it's sort of like winged down the sides.
Yeah. You're looking about the same sort of size as like the Spirit of Tasmania sort of thing, like. They're quite big. They're quite big. But
I mean, this is a very Tasmanian phrase, but how else are we going to get up to the mainland?
We'll see. That's true. Absolutely.
How else are we going to import those BOAGS REDS direct to the mainland if we don't have a catamaran?
If you can do it in less than 6 hours, we're happy.
There you go. Well, we'll get you the Reds, mate. We'll get you a carton of Reds.
There you go. So there it is. So there's something for Tassie. All right, on your Tassie.
Yeah. Tassie. James loves Tassie. Should we explain the Reds thing, James, really quickly? Do you want to explain Reds to the listeners?
Reds, ladies and gentlemen, is a very heavy beer that's been brewed by BOAGS, and it's phenomenal. It's a great lager. Okay. I don't know. I think it was great.
No. You thought it was great because you had about 40 of them. BOAGS Red is the beer from Launceston, BOAGS Red. And it's basically like you can go out and get $2 pots of it when you go out, because everyone in Tassie's on like Centrelink payments and all the old people are still in all the jobs and there's no big like retailers. You have to drink Reds instead when you go out to Lonnie's or the Dirty Mersh or O'Keefe's, and you find Matt Pennington swinging at people outside. So there's a lot of references here that no one's going to understand. So I think we need another fact, James.
All right. So the next fact, we're gonna go straight back into it. The next fact is the Splade.
Oh, what a brilliant invention. You know what it is, James? The Splade is the most useless, like no one uses it, but it's genius in its own way. It's like, this should be way more popular, but how many people have you actually seen use a Splade? Like, honestly, no one. But it makes so much sense.
It's only for high tea. It was in the 1940s by William MacArthur in Sydney. And basically was just like, we need something that is not only a knife, not only a fork, and not only a spoon. So they put together the Splade. I love that. I think that's fantastic. So that was in the 1940s.
Did it evolve? Did the spork come next and then it went to the Splade?
You can only assume, like, I have this weird feeling that it wasn't actually Australian, like any of the other renditions afterwards. I feel like someone's gone, as Aussies have got a great idea here, let's jump on board.
They flogged it off us.
I think so.
Scallions.
Another great one that we all know and love is actually is the electronic pacemaker.
Electronic pacemaker.
Now, the electronic pacemaker was wasn't actually like the implant, the heart pacemaker, was not invented until about 1960. But it was in about 1928 that Mark Lidwell and Edgar Booth had developed a portable pacemaker.
Lidders, yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lidders and Boothie.
Lidders and Boothie. That's a beer I'd drink.
Lidders and Boothie.
Yeah,
IPA.
It's an IPA.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh no. But it was actually outside the body, and it was actually used to revive a stillborn infant, which I think is absolutely phenomenal.
Interesting.
So
yeah, okay.
that's in 1928, and it wasn't invented for like the implantable pacemaker until 1960.
Okay. Just reminding me of the scene that I watched talking to you about before we started the podcast, James, in Casino Royale, where Mr. Bond restarts his heart in the car off that little thing. So maybe us true blue, fair dinkum, dinky die Aussies invented that thing too. You're welcome, Daniel Craig. You're welcome, world. Or just that guy in the poker game with the bleeding eye. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But going on more medical inventions, but the ultrasound scanner is one from Australia.
We're pretty good, aren't we? Like everyone says we're just a bunch of convicts, but we're so much more. It's like we took the British and then we perfected it to be more casual, colder beers, and bringing stuff that people need.
I honestly reckon this is our big up yours to the whole fact that they just left us here because we were we were prisoners.
Thanks, guys.
Left.
We're still waiting for you to come back. Yeah.
It's like, no, you know what? We've got this sorted. You can
don't worry about it.
Stay. It's fine. We're
on Smoko. Don't stress.
He says as he's second generation Australian.
Yeah, true. True. If you need Aussie approval, mate, you let me know, all right? And I'll let all the other Aussies know this guy's all right. Don't worry.
Thanks, mate. I'll get it tattooed on my
We can't just eat 4 and 20 pies all day. We've got to get some lamb on the spit and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
You brought us the food, mate, and we appreciate it.
We did. And you're welcome.
And we learned about you last week. So this week it's finally
this week is more Australian stuff. Exactly. Okay. Now, so that's the ultrasound scanner. So that was in the 1950s. By David Robertson and George Kossoff. And after that, was it after that? Yeah, around the same time was actually the cochlear implant, which is the hearing aid.
Not where I thought you were going with that when you started originally, but now I'm well on board and please continue.
Yep, no, that's all right. So 1950s, 1960s, the cochlear ear implant was it was Graham Clark. And he's from the University of Melbourne. He's a professor from the University of Melbourne. And we see them all the time, the little, the hearing aid in the ear with the little connector at the back. So used everywhere, which is phenomenal. Now, we were talking about making Australian lives easier. Yeah?
Yep. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Josh, did you know that Wi-Fi is Australian?
This was the only one that I could have brought to you, James. I did know that, Wi-Fi was invented in Australia. Don't know anything to do with it, but I do know it was.
That's all right. Really simple. 1992, the wireless local area network, or LAN, was developed by the CSIRO. And it was used for radio astronomers, which I thought was really cool.
And now we can play Counter-Strike on the Year 8 computer servers, thanks to it. So,
and the Wi-Fi is,
they invented the LAN party I was talking about, not Wi-Fi. We didn't really have Wi-Fi back then.
But Wi-Fi, I'm sitting in my spare room. The connector is out in the lounge room, which is about 10, 15 meters away.
Yeah, and my connector's all the way on the other end of the house.
Yeah,
I've got a Wi-Fi booster underneath me, but it doesn't do anything.
No.
What a scam that is. You want to talk about scams? Wi-Fi boosters, get in the bin. Honestly, what a waste of time.
just put cables everywhere.
Rob me of $35.
Another one going along the internet sort of side is Google Maps.
Google Maps. Google Maps has to be the best invention ever. I don't know. And look, since migrating up to the mainland from my small Apple Isle down there, I've heard of the Melway. Is that it, James?
Melways?
Yeah, the Melways. Look, I understand the concept of a Melways. I don't want to be looking through a book for anything. All right.
No.
And now, when I
no.
traveled, when we could travel, those were the days. When I was in Portugal, right around Lisbon, I just had Google Maps and I could find my way to things even without like internet reception and everything, because
that's right.
You could do offline maps and you're just walking around. Imagine trying to do. I didn't even know how I would have got around back in his day. All right. If we didn't have these inventions, I don't know why I said it that way.
I can tell you now, mate, you would plot it out before you left.
That sounds stressful, and that's not how we do it.
In order to get to the movies from my place, you had to go from page 75 and then flick over to page 93, which would give you the rest of the map.
No wonder we invented Google Maps. Yeah.
If you understood how a Melways works, your brain was elsewhere, man. Like that was just.
Your brain's in Dandenong, but your heart's in Ballarat.
Exactly. By the time I understood how to use the map, they got rid of them. Like, they stopped making them. But no, look, the Google Maps was actually built. The technology that was developed was by Where2 Technologies in Sydney in 2003 by Lars and Jens Rasmussen. And it was actually picked up by Google and became Google Maps. So they were bought out for quite a large amount of money.
Yep. And think about how many 4 and 20 pies and big M's you could buy with that.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Or oak, if you're into that, because you got to kill hungry, thirsty, dead.
You do. I mean, that's a big bowel movement we're talking about.
It is. And look, oak, if you want to sponsor us, by all means, this is me asking.
Yeah, if Oak sponsors us, I'll no longer say that Oak makes you have an extraordinary bowel movement. But if Oak really is passionate about not having that out in the open, sponsor us.
Happy to.
Otherwise, Big M will. Nippy's Milk will.
Yeah, Nippy's Milk, absolutely. Now, I do love a bit of Nippy's Milk. Anywho.
The straw, the extendable straw. Sorry,
yeah, the extendable straw.
I had to say it.
That's all right. The Victor lawnmower is another one.
Oh, absolute classic.
Like,
do people think these are classics?
Must the Aussie bloke be? Oh, look, I don't know, but how happy could the Aussie bloke be when he could retire and push his mower back to the shed and be like, that's a Victor. That's more Victor.
Yeah. And people still come into Bunnings now going, I've had my Victor for 60 years.
And it's a two-stroke. And
I want another one. It's like, okay, but they're all manufactured in China now. So.
Yeah, exactly. But now, see, this is my favorite thing is the actual name. His name isn't Victor, right? That was his middle name was Victor.
Very sneaky.
His full name was Mervyn Victor Richardson.
That guy would have had the biggest stash in the world. It would have been dense. Crazy. He would have bowled leg spin. That's all I'm saying. He would have bowled leg spin.
Twirly mustache.
Yeah.
Got around the VBs.
I was going to say, love the veggies and beef.
But was so put together in 1952, and more than 8 million Victor mowers have been sold around the world by about 2011. So pretty big.
We racked up a few more by then. Yeah.
Now, we're almost done. I've got a couple more to go. But going back to what makes life easier for Australians, the electric drill was actually an Australian invention.
And we're talking about the corded drill here, not the battery one.
No, the corded drill. The electric drill was invented in 1989 by Arthur Arnott, and he patented the first electric drill. And it was actually designed to drill rock and dig for coal. I'm
just trying to think of his nickname. It'd be Arn Dog.
Arn Dog? I don't know if the whole dog ending was like kind of around 1889, my guy.
We'll think about. I'll ponder that. Please carry on.
Okay.
And once again, another thing that makes life a lot easier, and you can get off the tools and onto the darts a little bit quicker.
Well, that's it.
The electric
drill. And when you've used your Google Maps to get to your job site, you get to use your electric drill.
You've only driven 20 kilometers over the speed limit the whole way and cut off 3 old ladies. You've
eaten your lunch with your Splade, and then you've gone home. You've used your Victor lawnmower, and you're finally finished for the day. You go onto Wi-Fi. you watch something on your on the your
Well,
TV.
you watch the latest episode of All Aussie Adventures.
Absolutely, and you know what? You sit down to one of Australia's favourite inventions, the wine cask or the box wine cask.
Oh, absolutely, it is. With the Goon of Fortune. This is where the humble game comes from. Because the Goon sack is nothing without the Hills hoist, James, and we know this.
And you know the Hills hoist is an Australian invention too.
Absolutely, I do, James.
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
Yeah. That's part of the citizenship test to go from Tasmania to the mainland. I do know that one.
I didn't want to put the Hills hoist in there because I thought it was a bit too obvious.
Everyone knows
the Hills hoist. Everybody knows that. But wine casks were invented in 1965. The whole like the goon bag that we know and love, 1965 by Thomas Angrove or Grovey his name was
Grove, yeah, Grovo,
or Tommy G.
Okay, Tomo.
Yeah. So it was improved. It was patented as an improved container and pack for liquids.
Interesting, and free pillow as well, as many of us know.
Yes.
So it's really a two birds with one stone, which once again is way more efficient, more time for the darts later on. So there is a real theme here with these brilliant inventions by the great nation of Australia.
Absolutely. So I think we've got a lot of people to thank. And there are so many more out there that I had a look at, but these ones kind of stood out to me, and I felt like a lot of people need to know these.
I need to put out a public service announcement about Australia, James. This is a big call out to the rest of the world. And there's a few things I want to say. The first one, no one drinks Foster's. No one drinks Foster's.
It's an American thing.
If I see Foster's being related with Australia one more time, I'll spew, James. I'm going to spew because I've never seen anyone drink it. And it's made up, especially over in the UK. I was in London and went to this bar. I can't remember what it was. Redbacks? I can't remember. And it was meant to be an Australian themed bar. Foster's on tap. What are you talking about? It just doesn't make any sense. It boils my blood.
It's horse piss.
Oh, okay. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not great stuff. It's actually really bad.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't think it's meant to be good. Secondly, sorry, James. Secondly,
no.
Shoeies, right?
Right.
I don't understand, and I'm not saying they're healthy, but I'm saying that the utter disdain and disgust that people show for a shoey before trying it, don't understand. If you're partaking in alcoholic beverages, right?
Yeah.
Why are you being no fun? And being the token Aussie dude in the hostel that drinks out of a shoe, people love you for it, James. It's not just an experience of drinking from the shoe. It's a way to bring people together. And I think we forget the social aspect of a shoey. Thank God to patrons like Daniel Ricciardo for trying to make this thing, the thing it is today. Because nothing unites us more as not just a nation, but as an entire planet than a shoey. So I think we really need to give it some more respect. That's all.
Look, I mean, I've done my fair share of shoeys, and
but the look on your face, James,
I'm over them.
Yeah, I know, but you're Greek. That's why. It's not in your blood, mate.
Yeah, we drink ouzo out of the bottle, and we drink black sambuca out of the bottle. That's fine. It.
And I don't want to do that.
Need it. No.
But do I want to drink VB out of a shoe? Maybe not VB, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Oh dear. But yeah.
It's just something that I thought had to be said. That's all.
We're an interesting bunch. But
people love us. People absolutely love us.
Larrikins.
And we have the coolest animals. We have the coolest
lovable
animals.
larrikin. Yeah. So many animals, and I'm sure I'll think of more to come across for the next installments of our podcast.
You know an animal I forgot about? A quokka.
Oh, those happy little guys. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're never on the list. If I go, James, write down Australian animals right now, I don't think you'd write quokka. I wouldn't have wrote quokka.
It's how
they'll pop up sporadically every now and then. You're like, oh yeah, we've quokkas.
But see, I had a book growing up about the alphabet, and it was Australian specific, and it had quokka as Q.
Yeah, but what else is there with Q?
questions, lots and lots of questions,
Queries.
queries.
Quite a small amount of answers, I think, would be under Q.
Oh, dear.
Well, look, this has taught me a lot today, James. I've learnt that apparently people can spray on skin when you've got a perfectly good roll of Glad Wrap to use.
I'm telling you, that's how you make superheroes. I'm telling you, that's how you make superheroes.
All right. I've learnt that every Australian invention is made to make life easy, so you can get on the darts a little bit earlier.
Yep, that's it.
And I've learnt that we invented a craft beer, a pale ale that I don't remember. Wazza and Taco or something like that.
Hang on, no. It was.
What was it?
Lids and Boothie.
Lids and Boothie.
Lids and Boothie, I think it was. I don't know.
Was it Lids and Boothie? Yeah,
Mate,
we'll go Lids and Boothie.
We just have to listen to the podcast after.
Yeah, I know, but we're recording it right now, James. This is live, and we can't just go back like that. Yeah, it's live.
Wait, so now is now?
Yes, now is right now. What do you mean?
But hang on. But when is? No, it's all right. I'm doing a bit. Don't worry about it.
Oh, don't do that to me. Of course, now is now. Don't. What? You're an idiot. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. No,
when will then be now?
We're leaving. We're going to be back next week unless I decide not to, because James is being a right nugget. And yeah, I don't know why I went with nugget. Yeah,
silly dingo.
Yeah, he's been a silly dingo. And yeah, we're going to go and make sure he doesn't go near any babies. No, I can't say that. Okay, we're going to, no, sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Anyway, what a great way to end. Go pick yourself up a 60 of Lido and Boothie at your local Brunswick Bodlo. And yeah, we'll see you crazy cats next week.
All right, see you guys. We'll see you then.
Hooroo.